Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle something called Zero Trust Architecture. Now I know, it sounds like just another buzzword, right? But it's actually a huge shift in how we think about cybersecurity. So let's break down what it is, and more importantly, why you should care.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question that gets to the absolute core of this whole thing. For ages, we've built these digital fortresses, But what happens when the bad guys are already inside the castle walls? Or maybe, what if your crown jewels aren't even in the castle anymore, but out there, in the cloud?
So for decades, security was all about this castle and moat idea. You build a super strong wall, your firewall, and then you just kind of assume that everyone and everything inside that wall is safe and can be trusted. Simple, right? But think about today. We've got remote work, cloud apps, people connecting from their phones. That perimeter, it's basically gone. It's dissolved. The castle doesn't have walls anymore. It's got 1,000 open doors.
And this is really the key difference. The old castle way, once you're in, you're in. You've got the run of the place. But Zero Trust? Think of it more like a high-tech, modern office building. Your keycard doesn't just get you past the front lobby. Nope. You have to swipe it for the elevator, swipe it for your floor, swipe it for your office, heck, even use the printer. It never just trusts that you're inside. It checks what you're allowed to do for every single action, every single time.
Okay, so if the old way is broken, what's the new philosophy? Let's get into what Zero Trust actually means.
This whole idea goes back to 2010 from a guy named John Kindervag. And he basically flipped the entire security model on its head. He said, wait a minute, trust itself is the vulnerability. Being on the office network or at a Starbucks, it doesn't matter. Your location doesn't mean you're safe. So instead, you have to prove who you are and that your device is healthy every single time you try to access anything.
And this isn't just some fringe idea. The U.S. government's own tech standards body, NIST, has laid out these core principles. And they all boil down to this. No network is trusted, ever. Access is granted just for that one session. The rules can change on a dime based on new information. The bottom line? Every single request, no matter where it's from, gets treated like it's coming from a totally hostile open internet. And that trust? It can be yanked away in a heartbeat.
Okay, so the philosophy is cool. Never trust, always verify. I get it. But how does this actually work? Like, what are the moving parts that make this happen?
It really comes down to three main components that work in lockstep. First, you've got the policy engine. This is the brain of the operation. It looks at a request and asks, okay, who is this person? Is their laptop secure? Are they in a weird location? Should they be doing this right now? Then you have the policy administrator. Think of this as the enforcer. It takes the yes or no from the brain and makes it happen. And finally, the policy enforcement point. This is your bouncer, the gatekeeper. It's the thing that actually stands at the door and either lets the connection through or slams the door shut.
So this all sounds great in theory, right? But wow, it also sounds like a huge project. If you're a company, where in the world do you even start with something this big?
Well, to make it a little less overwhelming, the U.S. Cybersecurity Agency, CISA, breaks the whole journey down into 8 key areas, or pillars. You can think of them as the big building blocks you need to put in place, covering everything from who your users are all the way to the network itself.
But let's get real for a second. Nobody has the time, the money, or the people to do all 8 of those at once. It's just not going to happen. You've got to pick your battles. So some researchers went out and asked a bunch of cybersecurity experts, okay, if you can only start with a few, what's most important? And the results of that survey? They couldn't be clearer. The experts all basically said the same thing. Priority number 1, users. You have to nail down identity, know exactly who is trying to connect. After that, focus on your data. What is it? Where is it? Who should be touching it? And third, you need visibility and analytics, because you can't protect what you can't see. Get those top 3 right before you worry about the rest.
And NIST backs this up with a really practical 5-step plan. And you'll notice a theme here. This is not a flip-a-switch kind of project. It's all about starting small. First, figure out what you even have, your users, your devices. Then, make some rules. And then, and this is so important, you test it out on something small and low risk. You monitor, you learn, you expand from there. It's all about taking baby steps instead of trying to, boil the entire ocean at once.
All right, so as we start to bring this all together, it's pretty clear that this whole Zero Trust thing, it isn't just about buying some fancy new software. It's a totally different mindset. It's a fundamental shift in how we approach security itself.
And if you remember one thing from this, make it this. For so long, security was about protecting a place, the network. Zero Trust says that's the wrong game. You don't protect the building, you protect the person. The real goal is to protect the resource, your actual data, your apps. Security isn't tied to a location anymore. It's something that travels with your data, wherever it goes.
So let's leave you with this. The old model only cared about geography. Are you inside or outside my network? But Zero Trust asks a much smarter, much more important question. I don't care where you are, who are you, and should you really be doing that right now? It seems like a simple change in question, but answering it properly, well, that changes absolutely everything.